This conference will now be recorded.
Right now, so how many ways we can execute? How many ways we can execute queries in Spring Data JPA? Could you please answer this question? So yesterday we discussed about it. How many ways we can execute queries in Spring Data JPA? Come on guys, I need your response. How many ways we can execute queries in Spring Data JPA? So first way, using predefined methods, available in data JPA repositories. Using predefined methods available in data JPA repositories. What is the second approach? By writing find by methods. By writing find by methods, we can execute data JPA queries. Right now, here whenever we write find by methods, note this point. When we write find by methods, data JPA will construct query based on method name. When we write find by methods, data JPA will construct query based on method name. Right now, third one. What is the third approach we need to follow to execute queries in the data JPA? By writing custom queries. By writing custom queries also, we can execute queries in our data JPA, right? By writing custom queries. To write the custom queries, we have an annotation called @query. By using @query annotation also, we can execute custom queries. By writing find by methods also, we can execute queries, and by using predefined methods also, we can perform operations in our data JPA. Are you able to follow me? So how to perform card operations, or how to perform persistent operations by using Spring Data JPA? So first, Spring Data JPA provided two interfaces for us. One is called CRUD repository, second one is called JPA repository. In those two interfaces, we have several methods. By using those methods also, we can do operations. Right. If your requirement is not satisfied with those methods, like yesterday we have seen, I want to retrieve the data based on non-primary key column. I want to retrieve the data based on non-primary key column. Then how we can perform those operations? So to retrieve the data based on the non-primary key column, then we can go for find by methods, or we can go for custom queries. So when to go for find by methods? If you want to retrieve the data based on non-primary key columns, or if you want to retrieve the data by using several columns in the where clause, then we can go for find by methods. Suppose if your requirement is different, you want to write one big query, then you can go for a custom query also in the Spring Data JPA. In the interview, they will ask about all these three approaches. What are the methods available in the data JPA repositories? How to write find by methods using data JPA, and how to execute custom queries in data JPA. We need to experiment all these three approaches. So we already performed operations using CRUD repository predefined methods, right? Like save method, find by ID, delete, find all. Those methods are available. Now, yesterday we have done two methods using find by. So now let us continue with the find by method syntaxes. So when we are writing find by methods, method name will play major role. When we are writing find by methods, method name will play major role. Why it is playing the major role? Based on method name, data JPA will generate query in runtime. Data JPA will generate query in runtime. Right. If you write method name incorrectly, then query cannot be generated, that query cannot be executed. So that is the reason we need to take care about the method name when we are working with data JPA, right? So now assume that I am having one variable called contact name. Contact name. This variable is mapped with a column in the database which is contact underscore name. Similarly, I have a variable contact number. I have a variable called contact number. Now that will be mapped with a column called contact number in the database. Similarly, we are having one more variable which is called as contact ID variable in the entity class. This is mapped with column in the database which is called contact underscore ID, which is a primary key column. Now these are entity properties. These are properties for our entity, and these are columns in the table. Properties and columns in the table. Now we need to keep these things in the mind when we are writing find by methods, right? Contact ID, which is a primary key, contact name, contact number are non-primary keys which are mapped with these things, right? Now here class name and table name also will be available. Class name and table name also will be available. Now coming to our class name, it is contact entity or context master entity. My class name is contact master entity, right? Now here this will be mapped with a table called contacts underscore master. This is my table. This is my table name, and this is my entity class name. This is my entity class name, and that is my table name. Now this entity class is mapped with this database table. This entity class is mapped with this database table, right? Now when the class is mapped to a table, class properties will be mapped to column names in the table. Class properties will be mapped with column names in the table, right? Now so if I want to retrieve the record based on this contact ID, there is a predefined method. There is a predefined method called find by ID to retrieve based on primary key column value. To retrieve the data based on the primary key column value, we need to go for contact ID, right? So we need to go for a method called find by ID, right? Now my requirement is I want to retrieve the data based on the contact name. I want to retrieve the data based on the contact name. Do we have any predefined method to perform such operation? Do we have any predefined method to perform such operation? Come on, I need answers. Do we have any predefined method to perform such operation? We don't have any predefined method. Then we can go for find by method. If you write the method, based on that method, data JPA will generate a query for you. Data JPA will generate a query for you. Now, while writing that find by method, we need to take care of the method name. So, based on which column you want to retrieve the data, I want to retrieve the data based on the contact name. I want to retrieve the data based on contact name. Contact name column is mapped with a variable called contact name. Contact underscore name is the column name which is mapped with a property called contact underscore name is a column name which is mapped with a property called contact name. Mapped with a property called contact name. Now, so when you are writing that method name, you need to refer this property. Whenever you are writing the method to the data based on this contact underscore name column, that method name should contain this property name, right? Now, so see here how to write that method. Public contact master entity. Public contact master entity find by. What is the property name? That is contact name. Find by contact name. This is the property name that we need to specify in the method name. Find by contact name. Suppose if you specify find by name, it will check for a variable with this. If I write like this, find by active switch, it will check for active switch variable in the entity class. It will search for active switch in the entity class. But what is our variable name in the entity class? Our variable name is contact name. Find by contact name. Find by contact name. Right. Now, what is the input for this? We need to supply the name. Right. Let's take that name as a variable method parameter. Let's take that variable. Let's take that value as a method parameter. Public contacts master entity find by contact name. Find by is the starting word that we are using. Contact name is just a variable name. As a naming convention, so first character of the variable we are making as a uppercase and we are writing that variable name for the find by method. With this, how the query will be generated? It is going to generate a query like this. Select star from table name. What is that? Contacts underscore master where, which column it will use in the where class based on this property. Contact name is the property. It is mapped with a column called contact underscore name. So where contact underscore name is equal to the value that you supply whenever you call this method. Whenever you call this method, you will supply some value as a parameter. That value will be passed here as an input. That value will be passed as a parameter for this column. Whatever the method input, whatever the method parameter will pass, that parameter will be supplied as a value for this column in the where class. So this method will retrieve the data based on this query execution. The beauty is we are not writing that query, we are generating the query based on the method. Right? Based on our method name, data JPA constructing the query for us in the runtime. Now similarly, now here I am writing one more variable called gender. One more variable called gender I am writing. This is mapped with gender column. This is mapped with gender column. Right. Now, so this property is mapped with gender column in the database. Right. Now, can you tell me how to write the query to retrieve the records based on the gender? Can you tell me how to write the method to retrieve the record based on the gender? I will pass input either M or F, male or female. I want to retrieve the data. I want to retrieve all the contacts based on the gender. Either M I will pass or F I will pass. Can you tell me method name for that? By looking at this variable name and column name, can you tell me method name? Can you tell me the method name? Come on, I need your answers. I'm expecting from you. Can you tell me how to write the method name to retrieve the data based on this gender? Find by gender. Perfect. But where is the parameter? Where is the parameter? Where is the parameter? Find by gender, string gender, right? So gender, based on the gender, more than one record can be available. More than one record can be available. Now, what I will do is public list of contacts master entity, list of contact master entity find by gender. Then I will pass string gender as a input. Then I will supply string gender as a input. So here, if you are sure names are unique, then I am taking only one entity, only one record will come. Right. Now here, based on the gender, there can be more than one record. So one entity object is not sufficient to store the data. That's why I am taking list of entities. I'm taking list of entities. I'm writing find by gender. I'm writing find by gender, string gender. Now, can you tell me how the query will be generated for this method? Can you tell me how query will be generated for this method? How query will be generated for this method? Please write that query and send it. I need that query. You need to guess. Right. Select star from contacts master where gender is equal to given value, either M or F. Whatever you supply as a method parameter, that query is going to execute. So now you understand how to write the find by methods. So find by method should represent your entity class variable. That variable mapped column will be used in the where class. Are you able to understand? How can I write this? Are you able to understand how can you write this? Right. Now I'm giving one more column. I'm giving one more column in the table. Now it is active switch. It is active switch. It is mapped with a column called active underscore switch. Active underscore switch. Here gender will contain value either M or F. Active switch will contain a value either S or N. Either active record or not active record. Active record, not active record. So now these records are available. These records are available. Now let me represent the table data. Let me represent this table data. Now assume that this is contact underscore ID, and I am taking contact underscore name, contact underscore number, contact underscore number, gender I am taking as one column, and another column I am taking as active underscore switch. Active underscore switch. Now let me prepare some data. 101, some nick, some number, gender is M, active switch is Y. So similarly 102, some John, and some contact number, gender is male, active switch is N, not active. Right. Now similarly I'm taking 103, some Kathy, contact number, gender female, active switch is Y. Active switch is Y. Now 104, some Terrell, number female, active switch is N. Now this is my table data. This is my table data. There are 5 columns are available. There are 5 columns are available. Now we experimented how to retrieve the data based on the each column. How to retrieve the data based on the each column. Here contact ID is a primary key for us. So if you want to retrieve the data based on the primary key, directly we have a method called find by ID. Find by ID. Now if I want to retrieve the data based on the contact name, then here we are writing a method called find by contact name. Can I write any name for this, or it is a fixed name I need to write like this? I need your answers. Can I write any name like this? Can I write any name like M1, any name for the method, or I have to follow the syntax for this? Please answer. Can I write any name for the method, or I need to follow a syntax? Syntax I need to follow. Could you please tell me why I need to follow that syntax? Why I need to follow that syntax? What is the importance of the syntax for that method? To construct that query. Whenever you are using JDBC for writing the persistent layer, you can write any name for your method in the DAO layer. When you are using Spring JDBC, you can write any name for the method. When you are working with the Spring ORM, you can write any name for the method, because there you are telling explicitly which query they have to execute. There explicitly you are telling which query they have to execute. So they don't care about name of your method, because you are writing the method. In that method you are writing the logic also to execute the particular query. But when it comes to the Spring data, here we are not writing the logic. We are not writing the query. Everything is coming to us. How? That depends on the name of the method. So based on the name of the method, they are constructing that query and they are executing that query. Are you able to follow this? So that is the reason name of the method is very important, and it will play the major role in the Spring Data JPA. So it is not only for readability, it is not for readability. It is used to construct that query. This based on this method, data JPA constructing the query. So if I write this method like this, find by contact name. So it means I need to find a record based on the contact name column. So for that it is creating a query like this. For this it is constructing a query like this. Able to follow this? Right. Next one. I want to retrieve the data based on the gender. I want to retrieve the data based on the gender. So for gender column, there is a variable which is mapped. There is a variable which is mapped called gender. Select star from contacts master where gender is equal to M. I will get all the male records from the contact master table. So all male record means more than one record. So how to write that method? Signature public list of entity find by variable name which is mapped with a column. Find by gender string gender. Based on the given value, it is going to construct the query like this. It is going to construct the query like this. So always first when you have a requirement to write this kind of perform this kind of operations, first to prepare your SQL query. What is your requirement? First to prepare your SQL query. Right. Now assume that I have a requirement. I want to retrieve the record based on the contact number column value. I have to retrieve the record based on the contact number column value. Based on the contact number column value. Contact number will be unique for everybody. Contact number will be unique for everybody. Now, what will be the SQL query? I want to retrieve the data based on the contact number. What will be the SQL query? First, I will write the SQL query. Based on the SQL query, I will construct my data JPA method. Based on that method, JPA will construct that query. Are you getting my point? First, I will identify my SQL query. Requirement. What is requirement? Retrieve record based on contact number. Retrieve record based on contact number. Right. So I will write a query like this. Select star from contacts master where contact number is equal to positional parameter, the given value. Select star from contacts master where contact number is equal to given value. Contact master is a table name. Contact number is a column name. There is a where clause. Right. Now, can you tell me how to write method name for this? Can you tell me how to write method name for this? Now, look at these mappings. Look at these mappings. Contact number is a column. Contact number is a variable. Contact underscore number is a column. Contact number is a variable. Can you write method for this? Can you write a data JPA find by method for this? Come on, guys, it is something like a practice session. Find by contact number. Yes, perfect. Narasimha, you whatever you are written, that is perfect, right? So here we will write a method like this for this. Public contacts master entity find by contact number. Find by contact number long number. Now instead of find by contact number, can I use as find by contact number like this? Can I change the method name like this? Can I change it or I cannot change it? I should not change it. Why? The reason is method name is very important. Method name is very important. I need to specify like this because that is the name I use it for variable in the entity class. That is the name that I use it for variable name in the entity class. I hope with this you understood the importance of the method names. So method name should represent the property name, then only data JPA can construct the query in the runtime. Now I have one more requirement. Perform the operation to retrieve the record based on gender. That already we have done. Right. Now my requirement is perform the operation to retrieve male records which are active. Male records which are active. That means gender should be M, active switch should be Y. So how many columns I need to use in the where class? How many columns I need to use in the where class? Come on guys, please respond. This session is very, very important. 2 columns I need to use in the where class. Right? So my requirement, gender should be M, active switch should be Y. Gender should be M, active switch should be Y. First, can you tell me what is the SQL query I need to write for this? First requirement, retrieve records based on below inputs. Retrieve records based on below inputs. First one, gender is equal to M and active switch is equal to Y. Gender is equal to M, active switch is equal to Y. So based on the two columns, I need to retrieve the data. So what is the SQL for that? Select star from contacts master. Select star from contacts master where gender is equal to given value and active switch is equal to given value. Active switch is equal to given value. Select star from contacts master where gender is equal to given value and active switch is equal to given value. Right. So my query contains two columns in the where class. Right. How to write a method for this? How to write a method for this? Public. Do I need to take an entity or I need to take list of entities? Do I need to take one entity as a return type or I need to take list of entities? List of entities I need to take because based on inputs there can be more than one record. There can be more than one record. So public list of contacts master entity find by gender and active switch. Find by gender and active switch string gender comma string active switch. That is my method. This method, if I write a method like this, it will construct a query like this. If I write a method like this, then it will construct a query like this. Are you able to understand? So based on the method names, data JPA constructing the query for us. That is called find by methods. That is called find by methods. Right. So whenever the very important thing is writing a method name. Based on the method name, they are generating the query. See the how much logic they are executing in the background. When you go for normal persistent technologies like Hibernate or Java JDBC, Spring JDBC, Spring ORM, you need to write the query, then they will execute your query. But data JPA, they are only writing the query and they are only executing the query. I am just writing abstract method. I'm just writing an abstract method. Or what about the implementation? Implementation is coming in the runtime. In that implementation, which query will execute? They are only deciding which query should execute based on the name of our method. So that's why method naming conventions are very, very, very important when we are working with the data JPA. If you are not using data JPA, you can write just M1 also for this method. You tell the query which it has to execute. You tell which query it has to execute. But when you are using find by methods, method names are very, very important. Based on the name of the method, it is going to generate or it is going to construct that query. Why I am using list here? So when I retrieve the data based on the gender and the active switch, male record, active, currently suppose this male record is also Y. This is also updated to Y. Then how many records we will get? M gender is equal to M, active switch is equal to Y, 2 records we will get. How to represent more than one record? That's where collection comes into picture. That's why I am taking list of contacts master entity. List of contacts master entity. So to retrieve more than one record, we are using list of entities. Perfect. So are you guys able to understand how to write find by methods? How to write the find by methods? Yes. I will show you one tutorial also in the internet where you can see more scenarios for that. So Beladun, there is a website. They have given very nice tutorial about this find by methods. Let me show you that. Find by methods in Spring Data JPA. Find by methods in Data JPA. That is called a derived query. Query is derived based on our method names. Queries will be derived based on our method names, right? Structure of the derived query. Find by name. If you pass the name, then you will get the records. List of user. More than one person can have the same name. More than one person can have a same name. Then list of user records we are going to get. Right. Now, suppose if there is a age column, in the database, then you can write a method like this: find the top 3 by age. That means who are having highest age. The top 3 aged persons I want to retrieve. Find the top 3 by age. That is also we can write derived query. So based on this, it is going to construct the query to retrieve the top 3 records from the database table. Right now. Simple, they have taken like this: birth date, name, age, ID, active. So these are the properties that they have taken in the entity class. Based on these properties, they are writing derived methods. To derive the query, they are writing JPA methods. Right. Fine. They are extending from JPA repository. As of now, we are working with only CRUD repository. The next coming sessions we will talk about JPA repositories also. Right. Find by name, that we know how to retrieve based on one column value. Next, find by name is, find by name equals, find by name. All these are same. If you write find by name, if you write find by name is, if you write find by name equals, then all the methods will represent the same query. Select star from table where name is equal to given value. Where name is equal to given value, where name equals to given value. So if you want to write this find by method, if you want to write this find by method for this name, right? Find by contact name. So how can you do this is, this method can be represented like this also. This method can be represented find by name is, that is also a correct syntax. And you can write find by name equals, that is also a correct syntax. Find by name is, find by name equals. All the 3 methods will generate this query only. All these 3 methods will generate query like this only. Find by contact name, where find by contact name is, find by contact name equals. These are the syntaxes of the method names. Based on these method names, query will be derived in the runtime. Are you able to understand? All these 3 names will generate the same query. Find by name is, find by name equals. Right. Now, similarly, I don't want to retrieve that particular name person, but remaining all I want. Find by contact name is not. Find by contact name is not. Whatever the value you pass, except that you will get all the remaining person names. This is also a method name. Find by contact name is not. Based, except this given person name, remaining records it is going to retrieve. Are you able to follow me? Right. Now, find by name is null. If the contact name is null, then I want to retrieve that record. Then we will go for find by name is null. If the find by name is null, if the name is not null, I want to retrieve that record. Find by name is not null. Like that also you can write a method. Find by, here name is a property name. Name is a variable. Name is a variable in the entity. You observe. They have given entity class for us. Right. Name is a variable. But that is the reason they are writing find by name. If our variable name is contact name, then what we need to write? Find by contact name we need to write. Find by name is null. Find by name is not null. Fine. Suppose find by active true, find by active false. If the active column is holding true or false value, directly they can write a method find by active true, find by active false. But our column active switch, yes or no. Similar conditions. Find by name starting with prefix value, that will internally generate a like query. Find by name ending with, that will generate a query based on the like operator. Find by name containing, so find by name ending with, find by name starting with, find by name containing. Like this you can write the method names in the data JPA. Based on your method name, it is going to construct the query in the runtime. It will construct query in the runtime. Right. Find by contact name starting with. Suppose I want to retrieve the records whose names are starting with character A. Whose names are starting with character A. Retrieve records whose contact name starting with character A. Whose contact name starting with character A. Then how can you try? Can you tell me SQL query for this? Forget about the data JPA method. Can you tell me SQL query for this? Anybody? Can you tell me SQL query to retrieve the record based on the contact name starting with character A? Come on guys, fast. Vijay Bhaskar, check your query once. Because I asked SQL query for that. After character A, you need to keep the percentile, not before the A. If you keep before A, it can start with anything, it should end with A only. But requirement starting with A. For that, our query should be like this. Select star from contacts master where contact name like a percentage. So it will retrieve all the records. Akshay Bitkar, your query is wrong, man. It will find the records if they contain character A in any position. My requirement starting with A. Name has to start with A. So the Rahul Kumar, that is the correct query. A percentile you need to specify. Now, how can I write this kind of query generation by using data JPA method? Public list of, because multiple people names can start with A. Contacts master entity find by contact name starting with. Find by contact name starting with. Now I will specify string prefix. Find by contact name starting with, I will pass prefix. Now this method will derive a query like above. Similarly, you can specify end with, ending with, right? Ending with, starting with, containing. I want to retrieve the people whose name contains Raj, R-A-J. Wherever. It can be in the starting, it can be in the middle, it can be in the end also. If R-A-J is available, I want to retrieve that contact record. Then what is the method we are going to write? Find by name containing. Find by name containing. Right. Similarly, conditional comparisons also we can do. Conditional keywords. Find by age less than, find by age less than equal, find by age greater than, find by age greater than equal. So if you want to perform some operations like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, for those also we can write the methods like this. Find by age less than, find by age less than equal, find by age greater than, find by age greater than equal. Like that also we can write the methods. Right. Find by age between. I want to retrieve the people whose age between 20 years to 40 years. Right. Find by age between. If there is a age column in the table, then you can perform these operations. Age in. I want to pass the people who are in 20 and 25. 20 years and 25 years people only I want to retrieve. Find by age in I can go. Right. Now, multiple conditions. Or operator or AND operator. So find by name or birth date. Either name is matching or birthday date is matching, then retrieve those records. Here if you observe, find by name or birthday date and active. So for two columns OR operator and then AND operator. So based on the requirement, we need to construct the query like this. Right. Sorting also we can do. Find by name, order by name. Find by name, order by ascending, order by descending also we can specify, right? Find by name, order by name, descending, that also is possible, right? Find by ID, that is already predefined method that we can use to retrieve the records based on the primary key column value. So like this we can write find by methods to perform the operations, right? So based on the requirement we can construct our SQL queries, or we can derive our SQL queries. We can derive our SQL queries by writing proper method names. Right. Anybody has any questions? Empty, not null, starting with, these are keywords that we can use to generate those queries. So with this we are able to understand how to construct queries or how to derive the queries by using find by methods. How to derive the queries by using find by methods, right? Criteria will also construct a query, but criteria you need to write the logic, right? Criteria dot builder, criteria dot add, criteria dot restriction. You need to write the logic for that. But here, just this method is sufficient. Just this method is sufficient. For the criteria, you have to input. You have to set everything. Then it will construct the query for you. But in the data JPA, we are not setting anything. Everything is based on the name of the method only. In the Hibernate, we have a criteria API. How to generate a query by using criteria? We need to add the restrictions for the criteria. But here, just we are writing the method. This implementation will come in the runtime. Vikas Yadav? Vikas Yadav, are you there in the meeting? Vikas Yadav and Hitesh. Please message me in the WhatsApp, guys, once.
Yes, Ashok.
Yeah, please message me, sir, once in the WhatsApp. I need to talk to you.
Ashok, I want to talk to you now. One minute.
Yeah.
Don't take a wrong message. My message wrong.
Yes, sir, I will talk to you. Just message me. I will call you. I will call you, sir. I will talk to you.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry.
Yeah. WhatsApp में मैसेज करना एक बार.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, विकास आप भी एक बार मैसेज करो सर. Hitesh and Vikas, please message me in the WhatsApp. I will call you people after this class.
Sure, Vikas. Sure, Ashok.
Right. Right, guys. Anybody has any questions related to today's class? How to write the find by methods to derive the query by using data JPA. So somebody asked me a question. Criteria API also will create a query. Data JPA also creating a query. Then what is the difference between those? Right? What is the difference? Can anybody answer? What is the difference between criteria API and the data JPA methods? What is the difference? In the criteria API, we don't write the query, sir. Smriti Ranjan, don't confuse. In the criteria API also, we don't write the query. We will construct the query in the criteria API by using a builder design pattern. Criteria API will follow builder design pattern. There we need to tell everything to the criteria, how it has to construct that query. But in the data JPA, just we are writing the method. Based on this method, it is constructing the query. So in the criteria API, we need to add everything like a restriction. But in the data JPA, we are not adding any restriction. We are telling everything in the form of method name. Based on this method name, they are going to derive the queries. Based on the method name, they are going to derive the queries. The difference, that criteria API we will use in the Hibernate to construct the query. To construct the query. For that criteria, we need to set the data. But in the data JPA, we are writing only abstract method. We are writing only abstract method. We are not doing any implementation for that. So implementation is coming in the runtime in the form of proxy class. So in that implementation, how the query will execute? The query will execute based on this name, find by contact name starting with. So they will use select star from table where column name is equal to this value, or column like operator they will use as I am using starting with. So starting with, ending with, containing, these keywords I can use to derive that query. These keywords I can use to derive that query. Got it? So JPA method rules, just find by methods, or we need to follow the rules for that. For the find by methods, you need to follow the rules. If you want data JPA to construct the query, if you want to derive the query based on the data JPA method, then you need to follow the rule. That method should start with find by. Then you need to use your variable name in the method name. If your variable name is not matching in the method name, then query cannot be constructed. So it is going to be a compilation problem. So those are the rules we need to follow. Method name has to start with find by keyword. After that, based on which column you want to retrieve the data, that column mapped variable name should be there in the method name. Then only query construction possible. Otherwise, it is a compilation problem for us. Why I am writing only find by contact name? Why I am not writing find by name here? Because my property name is contact name. So I have to write find by contact name only. I have to take the name as find by contact name only. Got it? These are the rules that we need to follow when you want to derive the queries based on the data JPA. So, but if you go for criteria, there you have to add every condition as a restriction to the criteria builder. But you need to write the implementation for that method. In that implementation, you will create a criteria builder object. For that builder object, you will add the restriction, right? But here you are not writing any implementation. You are just writing the method. Based on the method, query is generating in the runtime, query is executing in the runtime. If you write method name incorrectly, then query cannot be constructed. That's why at the compilation time only they are validating your method name is really matching with the property names of the entity or not. If they are not matching, then query cannot be constructed. That's why at the compilation time only they are stopping you. They are validating that. Right. Fine, guys. I will share these notes. I will give the class notes link also. So tomorrow we are going to work with custom queries. How to execute custom queries. How to execute a normal update query by using data JPA. How to write our custom queries will be discussed in the tomorrow session. Once that is completed, we will start with JPA repository. Whatever the methods we discussed as of now, what are the find by methods we are writing, what are the custom queries we are going to writing, everything is applicable for JPA repository also. Save method, find by method, find all method, delete method, what are the custom methods we are writing, everything will be applies for data JPA also. Nothing is going to change. Just your repository interface will extend the properties from JPA repository instead of the CRUD repository. Right. Fine. Query by example, I will cover in the JPA repository. Query by example will not support by CRUD repository. JPA repository will support for query by example. That we'll discuss once the custom queries are completed. Most probably tomorrow we'll start with JPA repository once custom queries are completed. Right. This is the link for our class notes. So daily class notes will be uploaded to this link. Please copy that link. Is empty. You can write it. Is null. Is empty. This is the link, sir. Did you get it? All of you. Yeah, please copy that link. Same link we can use. Daily I will upload the class notes to the same link. Ravi, just now I pinged it, man. Got it? Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Now we have 11:30 class. Today, don't miss the 11:30 class because today very important topic related to Git branches and pull request we are going to discuss. Please join that 11:30 meeting for the Git. Don't miss this today's class. Today's class is very important for the Git. Thank you. See you in the Git class. So tomorrow class will start by sharp 9:30.